Now, if I told you my story started with the Knights Templar, Holy Grail, a book and an epic walk, you're going to stick around, right? And I'm talking about Rosslyn Chapel. Founded in 1446 by Sir William Sinclair as a collegiate church of St Matthew, the chapel took 40 years to build. After the Scottish Reformation in 1560, Catholic worship in the chapel was brought to an end. The Sinclair family continued the Catholic beliefs until the 18th century. From that time, closed to the public worship until 1861. It was reopened as a place of worship according to the righteous of the Scottish Metropolitan Church and members of the Anglican Communion. Since the late 1980s, the chapel has been the subject of speculation theories concerning and the connections with the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail and the Freemasons. Could this be the resting place of the Holy Grail? Yeah, probably not. Almost certainly, definitely not. However, a big part of that theory, myth, deception, lies, whatever you want to call it, was brought about by the book The Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown's book, and made into a film in 2006. Medieval historians would say there's no accuracy or factual base to this. And the Rosslyn Chapel itself remains privately owned and is currently under the ownership of Peter Sinclair Eskin, the 7th Earl of Rosslyn. As you can probably imagine, a very popular tourist attraction, only 7 miles outside of Edinburgh. Great thing to see, but this is more me. Roslin Glen, which we are in now. As you can see, it's very picturesque, quite a beautiful place to be, and it has the most ancient woodland in the whole of the Midlothians, and it's cared for under the Rosslyn Chapel Trust, which, as you can imagine, is the trust what was set up to keep the chapel running, and its maintenance and everything else what goes along with the cost of having the chapel there still to this day. Everything you purchase, from that be food to gifts to your entrance into the chapel, all goes straight back to the trust, which is good, and there's another reason why you should come along and support it, keep it running, keep it going. Back to talking about the Glen, it's a natural haven for all manner of wildlife. The river here is the River Esk, or the River North Esk, as the case may be, which stretches from the Pentland Hills. There's a video you can go and watch about that, about the Pentland Hills, points all its way and joining the South Esk at Dalkeith Country Park, which I'm sure at some stage we will do a video about as well. The natural beauty of this place attracts interest of writers and artists, and was particularly favourite in the 18th and 19th century. One of the most famous artists to have drawn inspiration from Roslin Glen was J.M.W. Turner. Dorothy Wordsworth, along with her brother William, stayed in the village of Roslin in 1803, and Dorothy wrote that she had never passed through a more delicious dale than the Glen at Roslin. And it's quite easy to see why they would get inspiration. When you look all around, all the ferns here in the river, naturally grown trees, it takes you back in time. But if you go silent for a minute, hit reality when you get loads of people behind you. Just for a second, a moment, off in your own little world. Write a poem, write a novel, draw, make a painting, draw inspiration, draw that on canvas. Generally be inspired by the place. And now speaking directly to you. Here you, sat on your sofa, watching. If you want to come up to Edinburgh, you love the outdoors, you love your history, There's no better place than this. You got stories of the Templars. You got stories of families and skullduggery and everything else what goes with it. You got ancient woodlands. It's 7 miles away if you like your comforts from the city of Edinburgh. What are you waiting for? And of course, if you're finding this video interesting, helpful, or it's giving you that will to want to get out and have your next adventure up here, firstly, do that. Definitely do that. And secondly, you can always tap that like button. That'd be much appreciated. And it definitely helps with the channel. Talking of helpful, if you take the low road, which we think you're in Scotland, there's a song there, isn't there, somewhere? The path's closed. There's been a landslide and it's inaccessible basically. So if you do decide to follow the river for the time being, if you're coming up anytime soon, get back up onto the top path. You're nice and safe. And you're probably, to be fair, got similar, if not maybe different and better views. Yep, definitely take the high road. Not even convinced I fit through this gap. The sensible option is, if stuff like that happens, double back on yourself. I'm going to go for it because the path is literally through that hole there, or maybe not, but soon. Historic. I mean prehistoric. That Japanese knotweed. It probably is. Right. Now this turned into a bit of a misadventure, didn't it? Well, I've got to tell you, don't do that. Do not take that. That wasn't even a path, actually, to be fair. That was absolutely stupidity. Sweating out of places I didn't know you could sweat out of. Completely filthy. This is an easy family walk, or should be. You find yourself on that path, do yourself a favour, double back all the way you come from. Because right at the end, I have to scurry my way all the way up there. I've done myself an injury trying to film this bit on that spike. But yeah, double back. Ladies and gentlemen, the path. Don't really know what I was thinking there. Like the sign literally said landslide. Like the tree didn't just fall over and lay in the path, did it? The whole land literally slid away. What made the ascent near on impossible. I wanted later on to show you the village of Roslin, which I probably still will, but I now want the danger of that and the near on Yeti beard. If I were going for a coffee, one, I might get it for free, two, someone might find a Samaritans or a helpline. That's us meeting onto the path we was originally on. I'm still playing that through my head. What a muppet. Nice calmer moment now. Just to sit here and reflect. We touched on inspiration for stuff before. Just being around these surroundings, your imagination goes absolute wild. You can see where film directors and writers, like I said before, poets and artists get it all from. It really does spark your imagination. But there again, that could just all be in my head. Maybe that's just my way of thinking. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hit us up in the comments. Tell me if any stuff like this inspires you to want to do stuff, create stuff. I suppose that's the whole point of YouTube, isn't it? Well, my channel anyway. Trying to get people to want to see the wonders of what this country has to offer. Especially this place. This is amazing. Yeah, stone throw away from Edinburgh again. Accessible, well, as long as you don't take the stupid path or the stupid climb. Accessible to most. There's steps and stuff, okay, if you're in a wheelchair or find it difficult to walk, yeah, it's going to be a struggle. Admittedly, it's going to be a struggle, but two factors there. There's still parts of this woodland what you can get to, and there's plenty around you can still get to as well. You've got Roslin, the actual village of Roslin. Yeah, everyone, no matter who you are, should be able to get outside and enjoy this great countryside. Especially you who's zooming and ahhing about whether or not you should be going to Scotland for your next holiday, or Edinburgh for that matter. Because let's face it, that's the reason you clicked on this. Come on, what are you waiting for? Now at this point in the walk, we're not too far from where we started at the chapel. I hope the key word to take from this video, I hope, is be inspired, inspiration. And normally I wrap up the videos by that, I'll see you next time, and all that malarkey. So you know what? I'm going to tune it up, I'm going to change it. It's now, be inspired, get outdoors, and I'll see you next time.